Hi everyone. Just wait for a while, we will start. Yes. Hi everyone. So yeah, I am back again. I hope I am visible. So yeah. So this is the second video. So we were discussing interview question related with the Java. So yeah, coming to the second question, and basically this question is also we will frame this question not in terms of multiple choice, and yeah, you can frame it in terms of multiple choice also, but the main intention here is yeah, let me explain what is the question. The question is simply what are the what's that? Okay, so the concept is what are the various reserved word in Java. So following our first question, what we have discussed, we can't have the keywords as the identifier in Java. So what are the various keywords in Java? And we will interviewer may ask can you give me few names of the identifiers in Java, and a brief introduction about these identifiers. So yeah, we are going to discuss those things also. So this is the question, and yeah, we have 50 plus identifiers in Java, like 53, 54s are there, 54 are there. So we are going to discuss everyone, and what we are not going to discuss anything like everyone. We are going to spend 30 to 40 seconds on everyone, because the video will be too long. If we start explaining in detail now, it will be too long. So we will try to finish it within 10 to 15 minutes. So okay. So question is so yeah, in multiple choice question now, in MCQ also, they can club these identifier as well as these keywords together, and they can frame the question. So if you don't have the ideas what are the keywords in the Java or reserved words in Java, you might be trapped. So if you don't have the idea about the transient keyword, let's suppose I write like this, int transient is equal to 10. So if you don't know this transient keyword, you may think okay, transient might be true. Okay, if I write int what native. So if you don't have the idea of this native keyword now, you may feel okay, this may be true or false. Okay, if I write int anything what we can say, let me write int what sealed. So int sealed is equal to 20. So you might be confused which one of these are true or false. So for that only, we are going to list all the keywords which are there in Java, and after that we are going to expend a very few minutes over these things, what is the use of these identifiers. So yeah, let me set a timer, within 10 to 15 minutes we will wrap everything. So yeah, that is the we have to be very much punctual. Okay, so let me write the question first of all. So this is the second question. So what are the question is, what are reserved word, what are various reserved word, various reserved words in Java. Okay, so this is the question. So I hope you have understand the question, and before looking to this answer now, I request all of you, if you know the concept, take the pen and paper and try to write all the keywords and see whether you are able to write all the 54 keywords which are there or not. And yeah, people might say it's not required to remember all the name, but these keywords, these are like the weapons, and if you are getting into the war without the weapon, how you can say you are going to succeed. So this is the thing. So okay, let me start with the question. So this is the question. So let me start with the words. So what are the various reserved words? So let me discuss what is the reserved words. Reserved words, you can say these are you can say something which is reserved, which we can't use for our purpose. Let's suppose this is marker. This is marker, and markers is English, what you can say. It's an English word, and we can't use this marker to say this is a marker. This is not marker, this is a watch. So there is a specific word reserved for a specific material. In the same way, for this also, in Java also, what they have done, they have reserved certain words which we can't use for our purpose. So we are going to discuss those words. Those words are called as a reserved word also, and they are categorized into two words, two things, like one is the keyword and another is for the value, like true, false and null. This you might have understood, like for Boolean things we can assign true and false, and for the reference we can assign null. So we will not categorize like that, we will simply go directly to the various things. So is it shaking? I think it's not shaking. What is shaking, ma'am? I don't know what is shaking. Okay, so yeah, we will start now. So first of all, we will start with, I hope it is visible. So first of all, we will start with what? First of all, we will start with the keyword related with what? Let me start with the primitive data types. So primitive data types. So various keywords are like, we have byte is there. Okay, we have byte is there, and after that we have sort is there. Byte, sort, int, and long. Basically these are for long. This is for what? This is for the integer data types, integral data types you can say. And for float, floating point, we have float is there, and sixth one is double. Okay, float and double. Okay, float and double. And coming to the character one, we have char is there, and boolean. For boolean we have boolean is there. So this is primitive data types. Okay, they are 18 number. Now coming to let me come to what? Let me come to modifiers. Okay, so you might have the idea, like we have public, private. These are called as the modifiers. So in Java we don't have the access specifier, which we have in previous language like C++. They have the access specifiers and modifiers, but they have simply given modifier as a single set. Inside this, all those things are available. Okay, now coming to modifier, and the basic thing you might have remembered, like public. This all people remember, public, private. Okay, let me first of all list all the things, and after that we are going to spend 20 seconds over each, so that you might have a brief idea. Like it's just a kind of, what you can say, revision kind of thing. We are not going to explain everything, so that is the thing. Okay, now getting back. So public, private, and third one is protected. Okay, and these things like public, private, protected, you might all have remember. So now coming to next, public, private, protected, final is there. Okay, and after that we have what? We have abstract is there. Okay, we have abstract is there, and after that we have synchronized is there. Okay, we have synchronized, and after that we have what? Okay, finally there static is there. Okay, and after that we have native is there, and after that we have what? Native is there, and after that we have transient is there. Transient, and after that we have volatile is there. Okay, volatile is there, and after that anything missing? Public, private, protected, final, abstract, synchronized, static, native, transient, volatile, and transient we can take, native we can take, volatile. Yeah, we have one thing, strict FP. Yeah, for floating point we have a strict FP. So yeah, we are going to spend 10 seconds for each of them. Strict FP. So these are related with the modifier. So L1 is there. So now I am not going to write these numbers because it's also taking the time. So yeah, now coming back to what? Now coming back to identifiers, like keywords related with objects. Now if I talk about the objects, like we have new is there. Okay, and after that we have new is there, and after that instance is there. Okay, instance is there. Oh, what instance? Instance of is there. Okay, instance of is there. So after that we have this O is a small. So for the keywords, na, reserve word, everything should be a small letter. So this is the thing you must understand. And after that we have like object, new is there, instance is there, and yeah, like this is there, super is there. Okay, this super new, and yeah. Now coming to next, coming to classes and interface. Let me write it together. We have, like, for classes we have class is there. Okay, interface is there, class, interface. And now coming to next, for class we have extends is there. Okay, extends. So if you are extending, we use extends, and after that we have interface implements is there. Okay, okay, these are the things. Now more things like inside the class we have package is there. We use to write this as the first line as the package, and import statement. Okay, import is there. Okay, so this is all related with class and interface object. Now coming to the exception handling. Okay, coming to exception. Okay, exception related keywords. We have try is there. Okay, catch is there. Throw, throws. Okay, and after that try, catch, throw, throws finally is there, and assert is there. Okay, so this is basically introduced in new version 1.4, and after that exception we have like this is done, modifier is done, object is done, class is done, exception. Yeah, we have two more things like for control flow. We have various things are there. Control flow, let me write it properly. CONTROL, control flow. Okay, so for control flow we have if is there, and after that else is there, if else, and after that we have switch statement is there, switch, and after that case, and after that break is there, continue is there, and break is there, continue is there, and after that we have what, switch cases, break, continue, and we have for is there, while is there, do while is there, and after that we have anything extra left, if else, switch, case, break, continue. Okay, we have return is there. Okay, return is there. So how much is done? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, one more is left. I think 11 control flow statement is there. If else, switch. Okay, if else, switch, case. Okay, yeah, inside switch we have default is also there, so default is there. Okay, so yeah, this is related with control flow. Now coming to two things now which are not used, which comes from our what you can say native language, like from C or C++ you can say. We have like constant. For constant, for constant we have something like called as const, const. Like we have final is there na, in the same way in our native language like C, they have defined const as the keyword. So for defining constant, const is there, and goto is there. Okay, these are the two things, const and goto. Okay, now coming to next thing, we have like for return type we have void is there. Let me write it here. So we have like void is there. Okay, void is there. So let me count how much is there. So 8 11 19 19 120 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49. One is left. So let me, yeah, enum is there na. So enum is the new keyword which is added in 1.5, and it's a great concept. You might have learned like in previous language enum is just like that constant, but coming to this Java only, like enum is not a constant. This constant is basically the object only. So you might all have learned about that. Okay, so these are the various reserved words. Now coming to the some constant now, like for boolean we have true is there, false is there, true, false, and one more thing is like null is there. Okay, for the reference null is there, and one more thing, underscore, this is added in JDK 11. This is extra. So we have total 54 keywords in the Java. So these are the list of all the keywords which we have discussed. Now yeah, it's people might think like, is it necessary to remember all those? So yeah, it's like these are really required. If you don't know the words, these keywords, how you can use it, man? Like for writing program, if you don't have the idea of these things, how you can use it in your program? So if you don't know what is throw, throws, finally, and try, catch, how you will use it? So it's really needed, and I hope it is visible to all of you, na? It's visible, na? Fine, it is visible. Okay, now getting back to the explanation. So within 2 to 3 minutes, na, we will explain everything. So let me set the counter for 3 minutes. Okay, now coming back to this primitive data type. So you all know, like basically Java is not purely object oriented type. So we will discuss this also as a separate question. So because in object oriented everything is the object, but this primitive data type is basically not an object. So this is one of the reasons which you can say as like why Java is not a properly object oriented, we have the multiple reasons is there, like we don't have the multiple inheritance and many things. So okay, now coming to this, basically byte, short, int, long, you all know this is for the integer type, and float and double, this is basically for the, what you can say, floating type, like decimal number, 1 point something, like this. Character for character type, boolean is for true false kind of thing. So okay, these are for the primitive data types, called as primitive data types. Now coming to the modifiers, so yeah, this is very interesting, and you might have the idea, you must have the clarity, right, proper clarity about this, like we are going to use this like in anything. Now yeah, coming to public, so coming to this public, so where we can use public, so we can use this public at class level, okay, at method level, not at a variable, we can't use it as a variable level. So yeah, what is the public? So it's like as the name suggests, it is public. If you want to make something accessible to everyone, like from any place, if someone can access anything, for that we can use the keyword, not keyword, yeah, keyword public. So you might have heard this, like public washroom or public properties, like anyone can use it. In the same way, this is the public keyword. Okay, now coming to private, so basically you can use it at what? Same like at class level, method level. So yeah, coming to this, you can say like private, protected, these all things, yeah, you can use it in class level and method level. But coming to this private now, if you are dealing with like inner class, only then you can do. Otherwise it's not possible. For like outer level class, you can go with that. So I think you have the idea. Otherwise we will discuss as a separate video. So this is the private keyword. Like if you want like a particular variable can't be accessed from outside without the help of the method, we usually take our variable as the private data type. So this is the private. Okay, now coming to protected. Oh, so this is the most confusing one. So if you want like your variable can be accessed by inside a particular package, and the class which is directly extending a particular class, that in that case we use the protected. So I will explain once again. So if you want a particular thing which can be used in our package, and a class which can extend the particular class just below it, like A is there na? And if something is there which extend A like B, and if you don't want like B child can access it, in that case you have to use what? Protected. Now final. So this final is very essential. You can use it in terms of what? You can use final at a class level, at method level also, and we can use final at what? At variable also. So yeah, final is the only variable which we can use at local variable. For the local variable you can't have any different kind of the keyword. So this is the final. So what is the meaning of the final? Like if you define class as the final, so let me explain it. So 3-minute counter is done, no issue. Let me again start with the 5 minutes. Like time is money and we don't need to waste it. So just give me a second so that I can again, yeah, I have started 5-minute counter. Okay, so coming to this final now, at the class level, if you define class as the final, it means what? Class is final, you can't extend that class. If you define class as the final, we can't extend that class. Now coming to method, if you define a method as the final methods now, you can extend that class. But coming to the implementation now, like we have the concept of overriding. Like if you are not satisfied with the implementation of that method in the parent class, we go for the overriding concept. But if the method is defined as the final in the parent class now, you can't go for the overriding. So that is the method level. And coming to variable also, if you define the variable as the final, you can't change it. Let's suppose I have written like final. Oh, my marker is not working. Okay, final int I is equal to 10. So if I change this 10 here now, I plus plus, it will give an exception because it's a final. It will give a compile time error. Okay. So yeah, one more thing I want to explain here. Like for the final variable now, like whatever things which is defined as the final, like variable now, at compile time only, those value will be set by the compiler. We will not wait till the execution phase. At a compile time only, that value will be set. Okay, now coming to abstract. Abstract is the keyword basically. Okay, so it you can use it as a class level also and method level also, not at any other place. So abstract, like if you define a class as the abstract now, basically like it's like if you don't know the exact implementation, like how we are going to implement the methods, in that case we take a particular method as the abstract. And if we take a method as the abstract, means no body, only declaration is there. In that case you have to take that particular class as the abstract class, so that the child class which will extend it, they have to write the body for that. So that is the meaning of the abstract. So you can use it at method level and class level. Now coming to the synchronized. So yeah, synchronized, as you might have learned in the synchronization, like if you want like particular thing can be accessed by a single thread at a time, in that case you can use the synchronized. So it's basically synchronized can be used at the method level, and at block level also you can use synchronized. So yeah, you have synchronized block is there, you might have learned like synchronized block is there, method is there. Okay, now coming to static. So yeah, you can have like a static class is there, you can go with the method. So simple is there, like if you define any method as the static, so it's like if you define a method as the static method, it's like you don't need to create the object for that particular class to access that method. So in that case we define a method as the static method. And you can define like what static variables also. So if we define a variable as the static, like it is going to be initialized by the compiler itself. So like instance variable also is going to initialize by the variable, but for this static only, it's like static. That is the meaning of the static. So yeah, static is there, static block is there, we can add a static as the block. We can define it as a class, as a method, now as a block. So it's used at a various place, so it's a high, you can say, dimension is there. Now coming to native. So native, as the name suggests, it comes like what similar, it sounds like what it sounds like some home related things. So if you talk about the Java and all these languages, they comes from C and C++. So if you want to add some features from the previous language which are not there in your Java, so that you want like some kind of speed which is possible in terms of Java, then we use this native keyword. So basically this is used for the method only, you can't use at the class level or any different place. So this is basically for the method only. So yeah, transient. So basically transient, like you might have learned about the synchronization. In case of synchronization, if you want like for a particular variable, if you want like this value should not be saved inside the file for the protection security purpose, in that case we use the transient. So basically this transient is used for what? This transient is basically used for a variable only, so you can't use it anywhere else. So coming to volatile, so basically this is also used for the variable only. So let's suppose there is a variable is there and multiple threads is going to access this variable. So if multiple threads is going to access this variable, this value is going to be affected by the multiple variables. So to stop multiple access, we use this what? Volatile kind of thing. So if you define a variable as the volatile, for every thread a separate copy will be defined. Okay, now coming to strict FP. So yeah, this particular keyword, this keyword, again 5 minutes is done. So yeah, coming to this strict FP, we use this keyword basically at what? Basically at you can say method level and at class level. So I will explain you. Like as name suggests, a strict FP. FP means floating point number. Like inside a class, if you are doing some operation inside a method, and in that method, if you want like for various systems, we have various representation for like floating point number depending upon the hardware. So if you want a kind of consistency, normalization, like everyone should follow that rule, so in that case we use strict FP. So this is used at method level also and at the class level also. This is about the modifiers. Now coming back to the object. Okay, so coming to object, we have the new. So if you want to create the object for particular class for which the class file is already available, dot class file is already available, you can use the new. So we have a new instance method is there, you might have learned. Like if you don't have the class dot class file, if you want like dot class file should come at runtime, in that case we use the new instance method. Instance, this new will not work. So that's a reflection concept you might have learned. Okay, now coming back to the instance of, So basically if you have the object and if you want to test that whether that object is of particular class of or not, so that particular class should also be available. Otherwise, like let's suppose this is the pen class, okay, and there is something, this comes, let's suppose this come, okay, I will take the example, this is the pen class and this is a particular pen comes. So if I want to test this now, this pen class would be available. In that case you use what, instance of. So it's like what, it is instance of, this O is a small, so for the keyword everything should be a small. So let's suppose X is the instance of what we like, X instance of pen. So this pen should be available. If it is coming dynamically now, it is not going to work. For that you have to use what is instance method is there, that you have to use. Okay, now coming back to the next one, this. So if we want to refer the current object now, like current object properties, in that case you have to use this. And if you want to access parent class properties now, in that case you have to go for what, you have to go for super. Okay, now coming to classes. So class and interface, as you all know, for defining class we use the class and interface for the interface. And coming to this extends, so if you want to extend the class, we use what, extend keyword. We can extend the interface also. So a class can extend only one class, but coming to interface we can extend any number. Implements, if you want to if a particular class want to implement interface, in that case we use implements. Coming to this package, so what we want, like we define package so that you know in various classes there might be some possibility like same methods are available. In that case what we do, we define something as the package. It's similar like you have two bags are there, let's suppose two people are there and all of them are going to a airport for getting to some place, you know, same place, and all have certain things like a person have some bag, not bag, a person have some article, let's suppose pen is there, we also have the pen, exactly same pen with same name. In that case, let's suppose at the airport someone has opened directly their bags and find both of them as the same. Like if they don't have something to wrap it all around, they may be confused like which pen is belongs to which person. In that case what we will do, we will define a separate bag for both the person so that they can easily identify them. In that case what we use package. And import is basically for importing. So if you want to access some different class methods and all that, so we use what, import statement. Now this coming to void, basically if in Java basically we have to return, and without returning it doesn't work. In C we have this facility to what you can say, exclude this void statement, but here in case of Java you have to return something and void is like that. Now coming to exception, okay, try catch throw. So if there is try is there, I will explain. So if there is some risky code now which is going to raise some kind of exception, like checked exception, yeah, I am talking about the checked exception. Like there are two kind of exception you might have learned. One is the checked and another is unchecked. So checked exception which is going to be checked by the compiler only. In that case what we are going to do, write those exception inside a try block. So if we don't handle those kind of exception now, compiler is going to say like, hey user, what are you doing? So what are you doing? Sorry everyone. Actually my device was heating now, that's why I tried to okay, now coming back to what, try. So if there is some risky code now and if you want to handle it, and if that risky code is going to throw some kind of exception, that is checked exception, in that case we use this try, and inside this catch we used to write the handling code, like how you are going to handle this, like if particular things happen now, what way we are going to follow. So yeah, inside our code there is the possibility of getting something bad. So in that case if you want, like our code should not terminate illegally, should terminate in some way. In that case we proceed with what, we proceed with this catch keyword. Now coming to this throw. So like what you know, like whenever some exceptions occurs now, what happens, like in that particular class and inside that particular method where exceptions occurs now, that particular method is going to create a kind of history, like where it is, what is the name of the method and why, what is the name of exception, and that particular thing is going to send to the JVM. Now this is the procedure, and let's suppose you are not going to do all those things, if you directly want to send entire information to the JVM, in that case we use what? Throw. So here it is. And throws is what? If let's suppose your program is going to throw some checked exception, and you don't want to handle it. It's because basically what is a program? Program is like a sequence of methods calling. One method is calling to another to another. So if you want like some calling method, one will handle our exception. In that case, what we will use? We will use what? We will use throws. And finally is what? So if you want like some piece of code should execute at any instance, doesn't matter whether it's like exception occurs or not, in that case we go for finally. Now coming to assert. Okay, coming to assert only. So this is using 1.4, so I don't remember it exactly now, sorry for that. Now coming to constant and goto. So basically this is used in our previous versions, like in our C programming. We use this constant for defining the constant value. Like we have final, the constant is there, so we don't use constant and goto. If you use you will get compile time error, so you can't use constant and goto. Actually the using this goto it causes lots of problem in the previous language. Like it slow down the speed. So what they done, they have removed it completely. So internally, yeah, goto is created by the program. Like if you write this for statement or while for or while loop, internally this goto is there. But what they do, they don't want that programmer should do all those things. So they have removed everything. Now enum is there. So like in the previous language like C++, if you want to define some constant, we have defined enum. In the same way, Java has also introduced something that is called as the enum. So what they have defined, like enum constants are basically kind of, you can say, objects. So if you have defined, let's suppose we have defined anything. Let's suppose Raj is a class, and here Raj1, Raj2, inside you have defined an enum here, and constant here, constant in name of Raj1, Raj2, Raj3. So these all are the object. So this is the use of the enum. Now coming to control flow, you have understand, like if else, basically if you want like particular code should run, if it is true, then we use if else. Now coming to switch, so if we have multiple cases available, and if you want to work with a particular case, in that case you have to go with the switch. So yeah, in the latest version like Java, what you can say, Java 14, I think Java 14 only, they have changed this, they have added some more features inside the switch. So yeah, in the switch like in Java 1.7 versions, they have added this case inside switch. You write the expression where you can add like what values, like you can integer or all the things which is below that. Like you can go with the byte, sort, and char, everything. So from Java 1.7 they have added a new like a string argument, and after that in Java 14 only they have what you can say, do certain kind of modifications, and by which you can what you can say, like without using break you can write a beautiful code. So I will explain it one day. It's a beautiful concept. So now coming to next thing, like case break. Okay, continue. You all know, like if you want, like if this condition occurs, you have to you don't have to execute the condition below the continue. In that we use the continue. For like if you want to do something in iteration, while you all know, do and return. If you want to return the control. So for every program, two things is there. One is the return value, and another is control. So in that case, if you write simply return the control will be given back to the caller. So now coming to default. So yeah, this default is basically inside switch we can use like a default. And coming to the interface Java 8 only, we can define this default method also. Now coming to this true false null so this true false and null, you all know, like for the boolean value you can have true false, and for the null like for what you can say, like for the variable, like for a variable of a particular type, if you want to give some reference value we will give null. So this is all about the various keywords which are there in Java. And one more thing, like this is underscore, this is the new keyword which is added in Java 11. So this all comprises to keywords. So that's all for today. Thanks everyone for joining, and I hope I have given a brief idea about these keywords. So yeah, it's a brief idea, and you must learn, you must have this thing in your brain. Otherwise, if you don't know this thing in your brain, how you will write a beautiful code? Okay, like let's suppose I want like this kind of requirement is there. Like I want something, a kind of variable, which a kind of let's suppose I want to define a variable so that that value should not be stored inside the database for the security reason. So if you don't remember this transient keyword, how you will write the code? So it's required to remember. It's not difficult, man. Once you start feeling it, it's very easy. So that's all for today. Thanks everyone for joining. Bye everyone. Bye. Oh, I think it's got hanged. Let me. Okay, I think is it working now?